So Peardeck is a tool that you can use as an attachment on Google Slides. So if you make a Google slide, you can make a Peardeck onto it. So, for example, with the unique benchmarks, I use it so that for the students who are digital, so that I can accurately save their assessments if they're not verbal students. So. For example, so what you do is you go to add-ons, and then you're gonna have to get the add-on. So you get add-on, and then you can just download Peardeck. Once it's downloaded, it'll pop up on your add-ons. So you would do Peardeck Google add-ons, and then you'd open Peardeck. And then here is where you would add stuff. So these two things are, I think, part of the premium. I'm not sure how much they are, but it hasn't really stopped me from using them. So what you can do is you can add one of these things. This is text, choice, numbers, website, draw, draggable. The draggable one is honestly the one that I use most because it's so easy to use. So what you do for that one, for the students to use, so what you do for that one is you choose a shape for them to drag, and then you can add, I think up to like 6, maybe. Let's see. Yep, 6, 5, sorry. And then they can drag and drop it. So I'll show you how that works. So you would update slides. So this is what it would look like for the student, and then you can make it bigger or smaller. So you'd update the slide. And you can, if you don't want to do it to every slide, you can just copy and paste it onto the next slide, and then it'll come. And that's what I did with all these slides. So when you're ready, when your activity is ready, you can start lesson, and then you can do teacher. I haven't done student based, so I do instructor. You sign in with your email. And then you get a code. So your students can do joinpd.com and then type in that code. But what I found is easier is if you give the students the link. So if you copy that link and then put it in the chat box, while you're doing synchronous instruction, the students just click on the link and it'll go right there. So for example, the students would click on the link and it would take them to this. So you would just automatically see it. And then you would start class, and then the students can start answering. You would ask them, show me the penny, and then they would drag that answer. And they can't move on until you do it. So they still see this. And then it'll show you when they respond. And you can select show responses, so you can see if you have multiple students doing something, you can see how many of them are responding and what they're responding. You can't see what student responds to what, or like which student is responding. You can only see how many have responded. So we don't usually use this for we use it for like a one-on-one assessment tool, but you can use it to gauge like your students' class understanding. So like if you're asking like a group question or something. I'm not on camera. I'm recording a video.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were talking to me.
No, I'm recording a video. Okay. I'm gonna go grocery shopping tomorrow. But hold on, let me stop this.
Sorry, I ruined the video.
I can just grab So once you're ready to move to the next question, you will you'll just hit this button here, so next, and then it'll bring the student. So this is the student view. So it brings the student to the next question. So you would ask them the question and show me the quarter, and then they would write their response. And then so you would keep doing this and say the student doesn't finish. Say they only get through 3 questions. You can end the session. And then you can just name it. So, now I do not know how to continue the session. I haven't really done that. I tried to do it and it didn't work, but what you can do is you can go back and see their stuff, and then you can just reopen it again and again. And I mean, if the student needs to do it again, you can just start a new lesson and then just go to the one where they left off. But if you go to Peardeck.com and you log in, you can go to sessions, and then as you can see, I've done quite a few sessions, but you can go back, and so this is the practice one, and so you can open in Dashboard. Oh, that's for preview. Never mind. You can open in any view, and you can go back and see the student's response. I did not respond to this one, so that's the so you know that this is the one I left off at. So this is the response that it shows. All right. So and that's how you use Peardeck. Another tool that's really cool through Google is this Jamboard. So if you go to Google, you go to your drive and you click New, go to More, and then you go to Jamboard. And this is a really cool tool for digital students because you can cut and paste into this. So I'm going to show you an example of one that I have used in math. All right, so this is an example of a $1 up activity for unique. So I found this on Teachers Pay Teachers for free, so that's what I put there. And then so the student can, and then so I cut and paste this. You do have to use the shortcut cut and paste. So Control C for copy, Control V for paste. And then I cut this straight from Unique, and then the students write out their answers. And then, so this particular student is working on, do they have enough money to buy it? So I cut and paste this arrow to help them out, decide if it's enough. And they write out their answers here. And so the student has access, so this is the student writing. So the student has access to all of these as long as you share it with them. So you can share, and then if you go into the link settings and make sure that anyone with this link can edit, you can copy this link into the chat box, and then they can just click on it and go. You can also do this as like an independent activity, which I've done with students. So that way, so with that, what you would do is you would make sure there's the sharing link. So you would make sure that either anyone with the link can view or edit. And then what you would do is in the chat box, this is just an example for you. So this is just an example for you. So you would get this this whole web code, this whole link, and what you would do is you would erase up to edit, up to that backslash, and then you would put copy. And once that happens, when the students click on this link, so I'm gonna show you an example of that. Hold on. Copy, and then show you. So like, for example, if you for example, if you did a link to this, if you copy this and then you erased it so it would just read copy and a student clicked on it, it would have them make their own copy. So this could be like an independent work activity, and you could, I think the max is 20 pages on it. And then all they would have to do so you could see their work is share it with you. And then you would get an email notifying you that that person shared, that student shared it with you. So I mean, it's a pretty cool feature. The students can type on it. So if you teach them, they can open a text box and type. They can draw. They can obviously erase. They can add a sticky note. So they can add a sticky note, they can insert a picture, they can insert shapes. So if you're assessing, like if they can identify the shapes, you can say, hey, pick a shape, hey, pick a circle, pick a square. And then also, this is a cool feature that I use when I'm teaching the students. So if I want to direct their attention to something, this laser is pretty cool because it disappears. So you can get their attention and then walk away. And then also this laser, when you're working with a student, also helps with other things. Like, for example, I have a student working on I have a student working on identifying numbers. So one of the activities that we do is I show him this and I share it with them, and live I'm like, show me the 2, and so he can go pick the laser and draw a circle around the 2. It does take some learning in the beginning for the students, but once they learn it, it's a pretty good, cool tool to have. So there you go. Hope that helped.